Hey, is this thing on? Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking all about organization, and I want you to keep in mind that of course organization is just not like a one-size-fits-all thing, because there are so many different areas in life where people want to be more organized. So whether it's in your personal life, like your calendar, your schedule, organizing your space, whether that's your workspace or your home, or just organizing your thoughts in your mind, the tips that I'm going to share in this video today can be very helpful for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we jump into all of the exact how-tos, let's of course consider the reason why this is so important. I think that taking time to consider why for pretty much anything when it comes to productivity is going to help you see the value in it and make you work even harder in order to implement that into your life. So if you become more organized, this is going to help to reduce your stress, to boost your productivity, and to also just give you a great life overhaul to where you feel like you have control of everything that's going on. So starting off, the most important thing you can do to get organized is to declutter. I always say, like, when people come to my house, they're like, oh my gosh, your house is so clean. I'm like, my house is not actually so clean. It's just that I don't have a lot of stuff. So not having a lot of stuff makes it so easy to make things look really nice and organized and clean, because there's not a bunch of clutter kind of lying around and making things look messy. So if we're thinking about decluttering, let's say your home, for example, just start going by each room, each space, go into the room, think about what things you use the most often, maybe some things that you never really use, things you forgot you even had. Definitely get rid of those things that are not regularly utilized in your everyday life, or things that maybe you're not going to use even in the near future or within the next year. There's no point in holding on to a bunch of things that aren't of any use to you anymore. They start to pile up, you put them in boxes and closets, and by the end of it, you have no idea what you even have and when you even got things. Especially when it comes to like little storage boxes, sometimes I'll find them and look in them and completely forget where that stuff even came from, or that I ever even purchased those items or got those items. So just go through everything, figure out what you actually need, find space to where you can put those in an organized way where you can see them, and then get rid of the other stuff. Some of the things you'll realize, like, look, this is completely trash, I'm gonna throw it away. But if things are in nicer condition and you think someone could benefit from it, definitely donate. Look for local organizations that can benefit from your donations. So that way you're not just getting rid of stuff and feeling like you're being wasteful. It's definitely going to a good place. Now, with organization, sometimes we don't realize this, but it is actually also connected to goal setting. So you want to set clear goals on what being organized looks like for you in your life, especially things with like daily tasks and a to-do list. Really organizing that and segmenting it can make it so much easier for you to stay on top of what needs to be done. So the way that I like to do it is just to create a running brain dump to-do list of all the things that I would like to get done within the week. And then I separate those things by day, and then I put that into my schedule and actually time block it so I know that it's going to get done. So seeing this organized schedule of all the things that I have to do makes it seem way less overwhelming, much more attainable, and I can see reasonably what works for me. What things do I need to get done in the morning? What things work better for me to get done in the evening? Kind of what reoccurring patterns am I seeing in my daily habits? Next up, one of the most important key factors that you're going to need to consider when it comes to organization is time management. Learning how to effectively use your time is going to help you to stay organized so you're not really kind of pushing your priorities to the side and not accomplishing as much as you would like to. So while it's so important to make sure that you're allocating time for each of your tasks, it's also equally important to schedule in those breaks, because breaks are going to give you a moment to kind of step back, recharge, take care of what you need to, and then get back on track with your organized life. Now, thinking about actual like hands-on physical space organization, bins and labels are going to be your friend. So invest in some really good storage solutions. Of course, they have stores like the Container Store. Like, I can just be in there for hours looking at all the different things, but you can also just order things on Amazon, or if you're kind of budgeting your organization skills, go ahead and go to like the Dollar Tree, get a few things to help you get started on your organization journey. Having a clear place for everything that's extremely defined is going to help you, because let's say, for example, like in my bathroom area, I have a hair drawer, makeup drawer, beauty tools, makeup brushes. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff to put me together essentially. So instead of just having it all everywhere or kind of mixed in, I have every single drawer labeled so I know exactly where to put things back after I use them, and then also where to grab things from if I get new products, which drawer it's going to go in. And it just makes my life so much easier, and it makes the cleanup process easier too, because I don't really have to think about it. I just see the labels, I put them where they need to go, and then quick, easy peasy, we're done. So just make sure that you're always assigning a designated spot for things. I am just obsessed with labeling because probably I was a teacher and I needed to organize my classroom really well. But even things like my pantry, I like to keep that super organized and labeled, so everything has a home. It never gets like extremely cluttered or overwhelming. And if it does, I don't have to really go through this full process of figuring out what to do next, because it's all labeled. I can just start over, clean it all out. I actually made a video about reorganizing my pantry when it had gotten completely out of control, but the labels help make it such an easier process. Now, I also wanted to touch on digital organization. How many of us have just like crazy, wild, full desktops on our computer? Like, when did we save all this stuff? On a Mac, every time you screenshot, it goes straight to your desktop, so it can easily start to pile up and become cluttered without you even realizing it. So remember, in this case, folders are your friend. Like, the different tabs that you can have in your internet browsers, folders that you can put on your desktop, in your documents, everything can have a place and make it so much easier to find. Think about this with things like your Dropbox or any kind of digital file saving system that you use. You don't want to just have everything in there and you're going to have to sift through it. If you saved it, you probably saved it for a reason, because you want to be able to reference it when needed. But if it's not organized, it's a lot harder to figure out where to go to look for things. So try your best to, like, as soon as you create a new file or if you take a screenshot, drag it to the folder that it needs to be in so that your desktop does not become overwhelmed. You're not just kind of like searching for things. Also, renaming. Name and title whatever files you have to help you know how to find them the easiest way possible. Whatever first comes to your mind, like that's what you associate with that file. Name it and put it in its appropriate folder. Also, a big tip with digital organization is those unnecessary emails. I don't know, sometimes it's like, I didn't even sign up for this. How have I gotten on this mailing list? Or of course, other things that you have signed up for, places you've placed orders from, have put you on their mailing list, newsletters. It just becomes a lot. So what I like to do, usually about once a week, I just go through and see what emails I have coming in from places that I don't need to be subscribed to anymore, and just go through and unsubscribe from all of them to clean up my email box so I'm not getting so many emails, especially the sales emails. I don't need to see all those, so getting those things out of the way can be really helpful. And you also want to organize your social media. Like, lately I have been doing a really big overhaul of just wanting to like customize what my feed looks like and have this curated experience. And so maybe people or pages that I had followed before that I don't really connect with as much anymore, going through, unfollowing, and then finding new inspiration and pages and people to follow that kind of vibe with what I'm trying to see on my feed on a regular basis. So a digital reorganization is also extremely important to help you get more organized and stay on track and focused on the things that are important to you. Now remember, with anything, organization is also going to take time, so you have to build a habit and create routines that are going to help you stay organized. So just like I was saying, like with all of my beauty products, like I'm in the habit of putting the concealer back in the concealer drawer, putting the blush back in the blush drawer. Like getting into those habits makes it so much easier to stay organized because after I use a product, I can just quickly put it back. The same thing with like documents, when you get mail and things that you need to file. Go ahead, put them in their separate piles every week, every 2 weeks. Add that stuff into your file cabinet to make sure that it's staying nice and organized and you can find it when you need it. Just doing things every single day, like a little tidy organization here and there, can make it so much easier for you to stay organized overall and long term. And the last area that I wanted to touch on as far as organization goes is how your mind is organized. So taking moments for stillness, mindfulness, and reflection is extremely important to ensure that you're keeping a clear and organized mind. That way you can have new mindsets and move forward to your personal growth goals. Mental clarity is something that we just take for granted a lot, but if you think about days where you're just feeling like you're in this fog or like there's a cloud on top of you, it may be because you need to have a moment to declutter your mind. One of the biggest things is constantly consuming media. It can become such a habit. We walk around with our phones, we have the TV on, we're listening to podcasts or music. Well, there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but if we're doing it all day, imagine how much your mind is trying to consume in addition to what your mind actually has to focus on for your personal life. It can really be a lot. So take a moment to step away from some of the intake and see how much that helps you with really quieting your thoughts and helping to kind of solidify your mind and help you to maintain that focus throughout the day. And you also don't want to get into the habit of ruminating on things that are not bringing you any peace or calmness in your life. Like if it's just a situation or a person that is constantly having you think through things that's taking up space in your mind, you need to fully process that and let it go to allow for new space for things that are going to be more beneficial to be able to focus on within your mind. So think of organization in your mind or internally just like you would for a space. Everything has a place, everything has time allocated to it, and so that's how it should be with our thought patterns as well. So that pretty much wraps it up, a kind of comprehensive but also very generalized way to become more organized in a variety of different areas in your life. It's so helpful to just really take a moment to get yourself into a structured place, and you're going to see how that skyrockets your productivity and how also it just makes you feel really, really great about yourself, the things that you have going on, and you're going to see how beneficial it is to your life overall. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun organizing. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Affirmations with Amber.